This episode is sponsored by ByHeart. ByHeart is an infant nutrition company built from the ground up to deliver real innovation on behalf of babies and parents. Their mission is simple: make the best formula in the world. Using the latest in breast milk science, ByHeart created a clinically proven, easy to digest infant formula that's made with organic, grass-fed whole milk, certified clean ingredients, and features a patented protein blend that gets closest to breast milk. Their blend includes the most abundant protein found in breast milk, alpha-lac, as well as lactoferrin, the number one protein found in colostrum. In addition to its patented protein blend, their formula includes prebiotics and an 80-20 whey to casein ratio like in early breast milk, which is tailor-made for a newborn's digestive system and makes it an easy-to-digest formula. Curious about ByHeart? Redeem your welcome offer at byheart.com/podcast with code Dr. Nicole for a limited time. Additional terms and conditions apply. What exactly does it mean when you have a high-risk pregnancy? Welcome to the All About Pregnancy and Birth podcast. If you're having a baby in the hospital, you are giving birth in a system that too often takes away power from women over what happens in their own bodies. I'm Dr. Nicole Calloway Rankins, a practicing board-certified OBGYN who's had the privilege of helping well over 1,000 babies into this world. I've been a doctor for over 20 years, and I'm here to help you take back your power, advocate for yourself, and have the beautiful pregnancy and birth that you deserve. This podcast is for educational purposes only, and it's not a substitute for medical advice. Check out the full disclaimer at drnicolerankins.com/disclaimer. Now let's get to it. Hello there. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Whether this is your first time listening or you have been here before, I'm so glad that you're spending some time with me today. So in these short episodes, I talk about a topic or share a story or share what's on my mind. And today I want to chat about what it means when you have a high risk pregnancy, because there's just a lot of misinformation out there about that. And I want to clear that up for you so you can really understand what it means for you if you've been told your pregnancy is high risk. Now, whether or not you have a high-risk pregnancy or not, something that's super important in helping you have the birth that you want is making a birth plan. I recently did my birth plan class, Make a Birth Plan the Right Way, live, and it was so much fun. I so enjoyed it that I am doing it again this month. It is happening on Monday, May 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is completely free. You can register for it right now. So not only was the class fun, but I stayed at the end and did about 30 minutes. It was actually a little bit longer of Q&A where I just answered everybody's questions about pregnancy and birth. And I just love to be able to connect with people in that way to help them get their questions and clarification about things. So not only some great information about making a birth plan, but also get your questions answered. Come join me in the next live class on May 20th. You can grab your spot now at drnicolerankins.com/birth plan. So let's talk about high risk. The first thing I want to say is I don't like the way that we use the term high risk because it gets applied to so many different types of pregnancies, but the actual risk for any particular pregnancy can be very vastly different. So for example, if you are 35 years old, you may be labeled high risk because of your age. But the truth is that if you're otherwise healthy, then your risk of having problems is actually very small and not significantly increased over a woman who is less than 35 years old and pregnant. So it's really important to understand when someone says high risk, what exactly that means for you. And I'm going to give you some questions to ask. So let me explain what a high risk pregnancy means. And essentially that just means that during your pregnancy, there is an increased chance of problems potentially for you or your baby. And not just during your pregnancy, but also actually during your labor, your birth, and even potentially postpartum. So then some factors that can make a pregnancy be considered high risk include health conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes or epilepsy or HIV or thyroid disease or autoimmune diseases like lupus, or if you have kidney disease or problems like that. So any major health conditions that were present before pregnancy are probably going to get that label of high risk. And I say high risk in air quotes because again, the risk actually depends. Some other things that may make your pregnancy high risk are lifestyle choices like smoking during pregnancy, using alcohol during pregnancy, drug use during pregnancy. Those lifestyle choices are going to make you high risk. Also, age can kick you into that high risk category. Whether you are younger, so 17 or younger, so teenagers have a higher risk of having issues when they are pregnant. Or if you are 35 or older, especially actually 40 and older during pregnancy, between 35 and 40 is actually not that increase of a risk, but definitely over 40 is going to put you into that high risk category. Weight will put you in a high risk category, whether you are underweight or overweight before coming pregnant. Both of those conditions can increase your risk of issues happening during pregnancy. Pregnancies with multiples will make you high risk. So if you have twins, triplets, that is going to put you in a high risk category. Back in the day when my girls were born, it was not easy to share photos and videos with loved ones, but you have a fantastic option available, the Family Album app. The Family Album app was created in 2015 and has operated in the long term to give parents a secure and easy way to share photos and videos with loved ones. It's a totally secure personal haven for your family's memories. I love that there's no third-party ads, no unwanted eyes. Now, let me share some of the great features that make the Family Album app a go-to app. First off, the app automatically sorts photos and videos by month, allowing you to swipe back in time and see how your child has grown. No more scrolling through endless feeds or searching through folders. Another cool feature about the Family Album app is you can order 8 free photo prints every month to be delivered to your home. It's really nice to have some tangible pictures to hold on to or share to document each month of your baby's life. Plus, the Family Album app has unlimited storage and it is totally free. Yes, you heard that right. No more worrying about running out of space or being bombarded by ads when you're just trying to relive those heartwarming moments. So if you are still trying to use other messaging apps for your kids' photos, it is time to level up your family photo game with a free photo sharing app. Head over to the App Store today, search Family Album, it's all one word, download the app, and start creating a legacy of love one photo at a time. And then finally, any complications from a previous pregnancy. So if you had threatened preterm labor, if you had a preterm birth, if you had issues with your baby growing during a prior pregnancy, if you had a child that had a genetic problem or a birth defect, then that is going to make that next pregnancy high risk. Now, some pregnancies become high risk as they progress. So meaning you didn't start out high risk, but then things developed into a high risk condition. Something like that may be if we start to see issues with the baby's growth, then that is something where a high risk condition developed. Or if high blood pressure develops during pregnancy, that may be something that's going to put you in the higher risk category. And then some folks are at an increased risk for complications even before you get pregnant. So if you come into pregnancy, say, very underweight or very overweight, that's going to put you at an increased risk. Now, some things can be treated and controlled before pregnancy in order to reduce risk. So if you have high blood pressure or diabetes, especially diabetes, getting those things under good control before you get pregnant are going to decrease your chances of having problems and complications during pregnancy. If you can lose even 10% of your body weight, if you're overweight, that is going to decrease your chances of having problems during the pregnancy. So that's why your health going into pregnancy is really important and trying to optimize it as best you can. Now, part of having a high-risk pregnancy is you're probably going to see a high-risk pregnancy doctor. They are called maternal fetal medicine doctors, or they're also called perinatologists. And an MFM doctor or perinatologist is someone who did a 4-year OBGYN residency and then did a 3-year fellowship in order to specialize in maternal fetal medicine. Most maternal fetal medicine doctors only do consultations and ultrasounds. These days, fewer and fewer actually do birth. They're mostly going to be available on a consultation basis and to do ultrasounds and give recommendations back to your regular OBGYN. These days, it may actually even be a televisit. That's some of the things that we're trying to do in order to increase the reach or ability of MFMs to see more people. There may be an ultrasound technician there to do the ultrasound. The maternal fetal medicine doctor may be in a different place to look at the ultrasound pictures and then do the consult by video screen. So telehealth for MFM is certainly something that's on the rise. Now, the final thing I want to end with is some questions that you need to ask so that you know what a high-risk pregnancy means for you. So if you are told that you are high risk, then I want you to ask these 3 questions. One is, why are you considered high risk? What condition is it exactly that makes you high risk? Next is, what does it mean specifically for your pregnancy and your birth experience that you are high risk? Does it mean that you're going to have more visits during your pregnancy? Does it mean that you're going to have more ultrasounds during your pregnancy? Is labor induction going to be recommended? I think a lot of people are surprised, especially with things like high blood pressure or diabetes, when labor induction is brought up, because that's a really common part of management and appropriate management for those conditions. So you need to ask what it means specifically for your pregnancy and birth experience. And then the final thing is, what can you do to reduce your risk during your pregnancy? One thing we don't do a lot, for example, is for people that have weight concerns, whether underweight or overweight, is sending people to a nutritionist or a dietitian, or people who have diabetes during pregnancy, sending them to a nutritionist to help them optimize what they're eating during pregnancy, so their blood sugar is under better control, so their weight is under better control. So ask what you can do to reduce your risk during pregnancy and for your birth. And the final thing I want to say is, high risk does not mean your risk is high. So even if you are labeled as high risk, the chances of you having any issues or problems are actually pretty low. As long as you get regular prenatal care, keep an eye on things, monitor things, you're not likely to have problems. So high risk does not mean your risk is high. It just means we need to monitor things and be a little bit more careful and attentive to making sure that no issues develop during your pregnancy, birth, or postpartum experience. All right, so there you have it. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening to me right now and share it with a friend. Sharing is caring. I'm on a mission to reach and serve as many pregnant folks as possible. And any help that you can give me in doing that, I would so appreciate it. Also, come join me in my next live class, Make a Birth Plan the Right Way. Mark your calendars now. You got plenty of time. It's going to be on Monday, May 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can register for it at drnicolerankins.com/birth plan. So that's it for this episode. Do come on back next week and remember that you deserve a beautiful pregnancy and birth.